STEMPrime Researchcast.
Okay, this is the week of April 12th. Welcome to the fourth episode of the STEMPrime Researchcast. This episode is on educational systems and emergency response tactics of a post-scarce epiconomy. For any new listeners, I highly recommend that you go back to the first episode and work your way through up until the present. The reason being isn't because I'm trying to get traffic to the site or get a lot of clicks and likes, whatever. The reason being is because the STEMPrime Researchcast is exactly that. It's a research cast. The purpose for this is for me to conduct my research into the fields and ideas and information necessary to construct the AI STEM drive. So because this is technically mainly an actual research endeavor, there's going to be a lot of stuff that could possibly trip you up if you just jump right into whatever random episode, especially for the first several episodes. Episode 1 and 2, I think, are some of the heaviest. There are some pretty heavy episodes coming, but follow along. Keep up with what I'm talking about. Make sure you understand what I'm talking about in each episode if you want to follow, because if you don't, it's just going to be, you're not going to want to listen. You're just going to start listening to some random guy mumbling about, whatever crazy nonsense, and you won't have a clue as to what I'm talking about. So please, for your sake, I highly recommend just listening to them in order, going back to the first and listening to all of them in order. So what is a research cast? A research cast it's my attempt to kind of give my research efforts a level of transparency that usually isn't available to the public for a project like this. The reason I think this is important is, one, the AI STEM drive itself, the code base, is open source. It is not available to the public right now. What is there is not available to the public right now, but it will be, and it is totally open source, but it falls under a special license. So because this is an actual research effort, a lot of, what I'm trying to say is I'm not dumbing it down for the public. Because of the platform and because I'm trying to wrap these two things up, two things being the actual research, along with getting some much needed, public recognition and promotion done at the same time. I thought this would be a pretty cool way to do it. So even though I'm not dumbing down a lot of this information, I am trying to explain it to the best of my ability so that your average person that, isn't into AI development and psychology and economics and whatever, topic I'm covering will understand what I'm talking about. So that is why I want you to start from the first episode and follow through. Because if you don't, you're going to be lost. Unless you're way into economics and sociology and psychology and physics and whatever other hundreds of topics that this involves. So, and there is also a second kind of reason, a second two-part reason. So there's two one-part reasons and one two-part reasons for having a research cast. And the third two-part one, that's sounds so confusing to me, is for reaching scientists and professional researchers and field experts that might be interested in being interviewed or giving some feedback. So that kind of falls in line with promotion, but it also gives them a tool to go through and listen. They don't have to sit down and read a 500-page report. They don't have to have a 5-hour conversation with me before the actual research interview. So yeah, doing the Researchcast, I think, is taking care of a lot of more than two birds with one stone. After this introductory phase, which according to kind of my outline and schedule, and it may change, this is not set in stone, but according to the schedule, we're looking at about 3 months, maybe 4 months of preparatory, just me telling you what this is and how it works. So, but once that is done, right, that's going to be about 3 to 4 months is my estimate. Because I'm still conducting research and working on things may change. We're just scratching the surface right now. This is really the beginning. Even though this has been coming for about 10 years, there's still so much work to do. It's kind of mind-blowing. Once that's done, then we're gonna jump into the interview phase. I do already have several tentative interviews set up. I've been reaching out and contacting a bunch of people that I think would have a lot of really good insight for this project. So I'm excited. I'm really excited. This is going to be cool. When the interviews roll around, it's going to be it's going to be so great to be able to really have experts look at my material and help me, make it better. So yeah, because I'm basically treating the public as if you were my personal research partner and we were working on this together, there's not going to be a lot of dumbing down of the information. What you get is what I would give to a real research partner. So that's also why I would like you to start from the first episode. So really, the only downside to having a research cast is that the episodes themselves are not self-contained. You can't just jump right into them. But, is that really a downside? Maybe if you're looking for entertainment, but this isn't entertainment really. This is education. This is science. This is research. So I don't know if I really consider that a downside, because that also would motivate people that are interested to go start from the beginning and listen to all of the episodes and learn STEM theory in its fullness. So I guess, there are no downsides to having a research cast, it turns out. I just decided. Okay, now you can find STEMPrime, the STEMPrime Researchcast, on Anchor FM, Spotify, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Pocket Cast, and Radio Public. All of the associated links will be posted underneath the video or in the episode description. And at some point, hopefully in the future, I'm going to try to get onto... Kids keep sneaking in and out. Onto Apple Podcasts and a few others, Castbox and Overcast. Now, for everybody that has been listening, everybody and is listening and plans on continuing to listen. Thank you. Like, really, honestly, a heartfelt thank you. Even if you're here to, poke holes in my theory and tear it apart and to look for weaknesses, thank you. Because it is through you guys, really, it is through the public that the STEMPrime Researchcast will get enough momentum and enough recognition that will make the eventual development of the AI STEM drive something that has a platform, something that has, a place that can be shown to everybody, that people can, see and accept. So I am so thankful to you guys. So please, as always, if you like this content, if this interests you, if you believe that what I have presented has substance to it and, sounds like maybe we should actually really try to take a look at this and get some professionals and experts in on looking at the system. If you are into this, as I am, please like, share, post, whatever you want to do to help the effort of spreading the word about STEM theory. So, yeah, subscribe and let's change the world. Just kidding, but not. Okay. So, announcements. I am going to give a correction. First, I apologize. I was informed that I had made a rather sizable mistake in the previous episode, so I'm going to correct it really quickly in this episode. I had made the point that crime was mostly financially motivated, except for the occasional crime of passion, a small little portion of crime that is crime of passion. And I was under a few mistaken assumptions and impressions as to what exactly a crime of passion was. And in light of that, the correction that I received, I'm going to in turn deliver that correction to you guys so that little piece of donked information is no more. Okay, so here's the correction. Property crimes are burglary, theft, or larceny and theft, motor vehicle theft. They are all obviously financially motivated, or at least most of them. There could be some sliver of them that are not. And you have violent crimes, which includes homicide, rape, robbery, and aggravated assault. Now, robbery is obviously financially motivated. And surprisingly, homicide has been found to be highly related to financial inequality. I was actually surprised by that. And aggravated assaults often accompany robberies. Though not always, I'm not putting a number to that either. I'm just saying aggravated assaults often accompany robberies. Now, rape is in a completely different class of itself. As far as motivations go, I think it's safe to assume that rape isn't financially motivated. I don't think. I'm sure there are some occasional really bizarre cases where it is, but I don't even know how that would happen. Okay, so on the FBI's, so I looked all of this up on the FBI's, stats, online stuff. And in 2017, there was a total of 7,600,000 694,157 property crimes in the United States, and 1,247,506 violent crimes. It has also been estimated that 7,106 violent crimes were hate crimes. Keep this in mind. So, if we do the math, burglary, larceny and theft, and motor vehicle theft, just to give a good cushion, let's say only 90% of these are financially motivated. Obviously, it's a lot higher. Okay, that gives us 6,924,742. Now for violent crimes. First, we're going to subtract the rape total altogether. Rape, sexual crimes, all that stuff. I'm just pulling that number straight out. And I'm also going to be subtracting the violent hate crimes from 2017 as well. For robbery, we'll give that the same 90% kind of cushion e-break alteration, even though obviously I'm almost positive robbery is like 100% financially motivated. And that gives us 287,284 or something like that. Now, from homicide and aggravated assault, we're going to subtract the hate crimes and then only take 80% of that this time. So an even larger cushion. And again, it's obviously a much larger percentage that is financially motivated, but we're doing this kind of to prove a point. That brings us to 820,874. So tallying this all up, out of the 8,941,665 total crimes in the United States, given the 10% cut from the robbery count, the 10% cut from all burglaries, larcenies, thefts, and motor vehicle thefts, and the 20% cut from all robberies and homicides. So, the lowball figure for all crimes, which are financially motivated, given the nice little percentage cut cushion we gave to the bad guys that aren't, the total number for financially motivated crimes across the board is 8,032,901. That is 90%. 90% of all crimes are financially motivated. Now, remember, we took 10% off of robbery, we took 10% off of, or 20% off of we took percentages off that were far more gracious, than we should have really been. So I think the actual percentage of crimes, like for real, not this nice guy figure, is close to 97 or 98% of all crimes are financially motivated. Think about that. I mean, with everything that I've been telling you, with episode 1, 2, 3, and now 4, think about the fact that extracting financially motivated crimes from a society, repositioning the motivational foci that turn people to, into this survival mode monopoly game instead of doing what we should be doing and working with each other and progressing and including everybody. So the estimate here is that after an Epiconomy is instantiated and the AI STEM drive is turned on, booted up, implanted, and everybody's chipped their hands and their temples. No, okay, we're not chipping anybody. This is not chipping. Sorry. This is so about privacy, okay? The AI STEM drive is privacy-centric. Privacy is a key. It's like almost the cornerstone of how the actual, not mechanics, how the software functions, how information is exchanged, the speed at which information is exchanged. Privacy is close to almost essential for the AI STEM drive to function correctly and properly. So, no, I am not I'm not a government payoff. I am not, some sneaky way to get the government to try to get computers in everybody's houses and chip everybody in their hands. That is so not this. If anything, the people that, if this catches traction and things start going in a good direction, I would not be surprised, and I'm just putting this out there now, if there aren't at some point attempts on my life. Sounds crazy, but the need to hold on to control is a powerful need, and control is so much more addicting than heroin or cocaine or caffeine or meth. Whatever drug you can throw at me, I can say control is more addicting for the people that are control freaks. I'm totally expecting attempts on my life. Come on, changing the world for the better, but taking away their insecure, pretend hold that they think they have on the world. Oh, dude, they are going to be so mad if this takes off. You kidding me? Attempts on my life will be the least of what they start doing. Yeah, that's kind of scary, huh? Let's change the subject. What were we talking about? We should probably get going. So yeah, STEM drive, Epiconomy, no crime. Good? Okay. Moving on. Not moving on. I had something to add really quickly. Okay, because of the dynamic of the, the STEM epiconomy, the whole point is to get people to self-actualize. Well, that's not the whole point. There are several points to the AI STEM drive and the STEM epiconomy, but those are covered. Listen to the episodes. So we have self-actualizing individuals. So financially motivated crimes will disappear. Gone. You don't even have to worry about them anymore. But let's talk for a moment about sexual crimes and other non-financially motivated violent crimes. Considering that the majority of people, we might have a couple outliers here and there, but the system takes care of that. Because most people, the structure of the system almost makes it difficult not to self-actualize. It lights your intrinsic motivation engine, gets you pumped on yourself, gets you going and loving other people and doing things and becoming a better person. So the violent crimes, sexual crimes, especially the sexual crimes, no, especially both. From what I understand, a lot of sexual crimes are control oriented, right? Somebody, I don't know if that's actually totally correct. I'm gonna have to look this up. But if that is true, and it probably is true, I think I've heard that don't quote me on that, but I'm almost certain that is the truth. If that is the case, then a world of self-actualizing people should snuff all that crap out too. The violent crimes, what self-actualizing individual is going to go out and get into a bar fight? What self-actualizing individual is going to do those things that just, why would it? I don't understand some people, but I do understand that happens because people are broken. Like, because we have a system, our entire socio-political economic structure is its metaphorical shape. Remember how I was talking about society being like water, that the shape of our container really has a lot to do with what we become, like a whirlpool and a waterfall and a stream. Like, the shape of our socio-political economic container has caused a lot of breakages, a lot of broken components. And that is, I'm not saying that they're like, justified in doing that, in doing those things, that, because I don't understand it. And I'm not saying that they're justified at all. Okay. But what I am saying is that, well, you know what I'm saying. I mean, you put two guys or girls, or you put a group of people in a room, lock them there for 12 days until they're all like on the edge of death, and then you drop a single cake into the middle of the room. Like, you're going to have fights. You're just going to have fights. You have created an environment wherein the monsters of those people, the deep inner disgusting monsters that don't care what happens or who they hurt, they just want that cake in the middle of the floor. The shape, okay, the metaphorical shape of that environment that you structured and created for them was purposefully designed to evoke their inner demons. The shape of the world right now is so terribly designed. I know we didn't know that we did it when we did it, and many people still don't know it, but that's what I'm here for. I'm going to tell you what the science just told me. Okay? That the shape of our world incites the disgusting, incites the evil, incites the bad, gross, inner, human-ish stuff that does those things. This was a long enough intro. I think we need to get on to the content of this episode. So that was kind of a long announcement. I apologize. But yeah, I felt like I had to kind of correct that because I was corrected and she was right. Like, I cannot argue with that, and I'm about truth, so there you go. You get it now. Okay, so yeah. Let's jump into the meat of this episode. I don't know why I keep picking those up. This episode, we are going to look at the educational and emergency response and preparedness systems of a post-scarce world. Okay, first, we're going to tackle the educational system. Now, this is my educational system, okay? This is a system that I have constructed around the science. I mean, this is my thing, man. Do you know how many institutions and structures and social concepts we have out there that are just don't align to what science tells us it should be? Yeah, education is like one of the worst ones. Just putting that out there right up front. Okay, so I came up with this idea a long time ago, way before I came up with the idea for the STEM drive. In fact, I originally registered the domain name Torrent University in, I think, mid-2000s. I mean, it had to been. It was so long ago. Maybe even before then. No, it wasn't before then. Was it? God damn. it might have been. No, Torrent University. When did they do that? Anyway, that's beside the point. Okay, Torrent University. Torrent University is a completely new approach to education. So there are two concepts. I don't know why I keep picking things up, but I do, but whatever. Maybe I just need something in my hand. What was I just saying? Oh, yeah. Okay, so Torrent University is a cooperative effort, or especially it was at the time when I conceived of it. And, it's a good thing that I just decided to start doing all these projects, because now I've got like a kind of a collection of projects, and they all work together because they're all based on science and they all function on the same principles. What an interesting concept, huh? Weird. Okay, so Torrent University is a completely new educational system, and it is not necessarily a university. The cooperative project that I designed for the Torrent University is something that I call Giterature. Giterature, as in Git, like Git, G-A-T, Git for coders, but restructured for literature. Fun word. So, I had originally registered, I just need a little bit of spotlight time on this one for a second. I originally registered Giterature.com in 2015. Now, and dude, I did a thorough investigation into that word. When I put Giterature into the search bar, nothing came up. Now, there's like 5 or 6 projects out there that are trying to steal my word. Shame on those people. But, whatever. I can change mine too. I'll just change it to something else. But no, I have Giterature. I don't know. I might even change the name of it. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Science class. Maybe I'll just call it science class. That's kind of cool. Okay. So what Giterature is it is exactly what it sounds like, if you know what Git is. For those of you that don't know what Git is what we call I don't know actually that class of Git is a repository for code. And what that means is developers, when you're writing code or you're writing a program or whatever project you're working on, Git has a way of tracking all of your changes in specific ways that keep the data. It keeps it keeps all the data stable. It stores it in a very stable, robust manner. And it does it in a way that it makes going back to old versions really easy. So I could have, program A, right? I'm working on program A, and I just made a change. Well, technically that's not how you should do it. How you should do it is you should have one main, what's called a branch. Your branch is I'll explain in a second what a branch is. So you have your code, you create the repository, and now you've got a way to, you make a change, right? And you push it to your repository. And now I can make all the changes I want. I can even delete the entire thing. And I can push that to the repository. And it does matter, but not in the way that you would think if you don't know what Git is. Now I can go back to the repository and they have the old version still. I just have to pull it from the old version. And now I've got my entire code base restored. It does a lot of other really handy things too. You can do branching, which is like, say I want to add a new feature to my software, okay? So I make a branch. Now I have two kind of repositories, right? There's the main one and there's this one. whatever I do on this one doesn't affect the main one. It's almost like having two separate, repositories of your code. And as soon as I'm done, adding the feature, debugging it, testing it, making sure it works without any problems, I can then rejoin it to the original master stream. Well, Git is a very interesting system. When you get underneath everything and look at how it really works, it is genius. It is one of the coolest systems that I have ever looked at under the hood of. Which is why I decided which is why I think came up with the idea for Giterature in the first place. I saw how it worked underneath and saw what it was capable of. And, I thought, dude, you could totally make it would be like Wikipedia. This is kind of my original idea of what it would do. It would kind of be like Wikipedia, but you would have all of any old changes. You would have the changes tagged and marked. You would know when each change was, who did what change. There's so much historical information that you have access to there. Excuse me. That for literature, oh my gosh, this thing would be so cool. So I looked into it. There were some attempts, at least, at using Git for literary works. But there was not a textbook for using Git for literary works. And now there's actually a really cool website. What is it called? They've got the idea. And if they keep going, I might just, use them. But Open Texts. I think it's just Open Texts. So they've got just open, available college texts. I think that they're just kind of starting out. There's maybe only 2 books on there. But it's open. You can just go, grab it, download it, open the web page, and have it right there. So that's kind of the idea behind Giterature, right? We have a device, not like a mechanical device, like a device to take care of a device wherein a platform. Let's just say platform. We have a platform now where somebody can come up with an idea. Okay, we don't have a platform now, but I'm telling you, this is what Giterature is. It's a platform where somebody can take an idea and start working on it and put it up on the Giterature repo, and then other people can see it and, that's pretty cool. They can branch it. They can make their own version. They can submit it. And if the original author thinks that's a really good, addition or alteration, he can join it or merge it back to the main repository. And I started thinking, oh my gosh, dude, could you imagine the literary masterpieces that humanity could come up with? If you've got brilliant people that just know how to write stories and know how to create these engaging worlds and characters all coming together from across the internet and working on stories. And just how cool would that be? Oh my gosh, dude. Okay, so that is Giterature, but so Giterature was for really kind of originally the idea was for literary, a literary platform for artists and authors. And then I started to think, what if we do kind of an offshoot of Giterature and turn it into a platform. Excuse me, I'm gonna have to take another drink really quick. I usually don't talk this long before I usually don't talk this long without having to cut. But I'm into this and I know it and I'm excited. Let's go. Oh my gosh. Oh crap. Where was I? Thanks, drink. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Textbooks. Okay. We do it for textbooks. So think about, I mean, come on, dude. College is so bad. Think about what college students are almost swindled into having to deal with. Like, I remember paying, what was it? Dude, I think I paid like $750 for a book that I was going to use for one semester that I would only get like $400 back from after I resold it back to the bookstore. Like, what a mess. I mean, education is so important. And the fact that some of these people out there they're abusing it. They're abusing their access to, specific things. I don't mind that the CEO of company X makes millions and billions and billions because he really does do a lot of hard work and he makes a lot of he and or she, I apologize. I do that a lot. I'm sorry. Makes a lot of really difficult decisions, whatever. I don't think he probably always fully earns that, but in the case of the educational system, especially colleges, the flow of money is despicable. It's so disgusting how they just financially rape students. It is so bad. And considering the moral implications of it, students are our future. When you're doing that, you're affecting the future. If somebody doesn't go to school because he can't afford it, but if just theoretically that particular person had gone to school and had made his way up through, his doctorate or whatever, and he developed the cure for cancer, or he or she. I am so bad at that. I'm so sorry. I'm a guy, so I say he a lot.
If you're on track, smile.
If you're on track, smile. I'm on track. But you know what I'm saying? Like, how do, and then a counter argument could be, well, somebody's going to develop the cure for cancer anyway at some point. That's true, but does it matter that the cure for cancer is developed 150 years earlier than it would have normally been developed or whatever? I don't know. My point is education, using an educational system to swindle people is putrefaction incarnate. It is such a detestable, disgusting practice. So that is why I thought, okay, what if we take this Giterature idea that I had and turn it into a college text thing? Students and professors could all collaborate on large textbooks that are always up to date. You don't have to get a new version every semester. It's always up to date. And we could even turn it into kind of like a tablet sort of thing. So, oh man, I should have gotten my pictures out. Basically, it's a tablet system. You would have tablets, probably 10 to 15 inch tablets, okay? And 3 of them that open into a trifold sort of a thing. And you have several controls. And this all works seamlessly with the Giterature backend. Now, one of the features that this would have is, one, you have access to all of the knowledge in the entire world on any subject that has ever been and ever will be. That's kind of a pretty powerful little thing. I mean, yes, you have Wikipedia. Yes, you have Google, but this turns it into a very ordered textbook-like summary that is easy to navigate from an educational perspective. For example, let's say I'm random subject. Oh my gosh, let's just pull one out of the air. I can't do that. Why is this impossible? Biology. Okay, there's biology. Now we got biology, and I am reading a chapter on cell division. So I open it up to cell division, but I'm not really opening it up. I've clicked on cell division, this chapter. And I am reading at, an adult level of reading. And I decide that the words are kind of complicated, and it's going into a great deal into concepts that my professor hasn't even covered yet. So what am I going to do? I just use the resolution slide on the left, and I can actually, so this is the concept, and I don't care if anybody takes this as long as you do it in a way that has the same spirit of giving back to humanity and advancing our purpose as I do. If you're going to try to make money off of this and like burn a bunch of people and be a dick, I will sue you. No, I won't, but you're a dick if you do that. So I've got this resolution slider, and I can actually change the resolution of the level of information, how it's, what am I trying to say? I don't even know how to really explain this. Okay, here's a good way. If I want to read this to a 5-year-old and have it make sense, I take it down to about where a 5-year-old's understanding is, and the entire chapter just restructures itself. If I really want to know extreme details and have all the words in there that are super complicated, I can turn it all the way up to 12th PhD level intensity, and then I won't be able to read it at all because it'll be too complicated. But that's the idea. The resolution operator brings the information into focus, right, for your particular level of what you already know and what you can comprehend and retain. So, how awesome is that? That's super awesome. Would you have loved that if you were when you were in college? Yes, me too. Great. Another feature, and this is something that I've kind of started trying to figure out how I would do this, but so because it's a text, you have a lot of utilities, or not a text, a program, right? You have a lot of capabilities that a book doesn't have, including sound bites, especially for historical stuff, sound bites from old talks and little movie clips for all sorts of things. I mean, here we're kind of getting Wikipedia-ish, but I mean, that's the nature of the beast. That's what digital information has done for us. But now you also you can turn on, I never sat down to name these, so I don't know really what to call this, but it's an internal linking system that links, okay, you know how like on Wikipedia, when you're reading an article, they have links that link to other ideas and concepts. It's kind of like that, but not. That's what it was. Yes. Okay, I did have to cut it there because I had forgotten what it was that I had come up with for the internal, context linking thing. So, first thing that you can do is link to, all of the links, in whatever you're reading can link to, or you can turn on this subject only links. So it won't cross-link to, other topics or subjects and ideas. But you can turn that on where it will link to other topics and subjects, and you can filter which topics and subjects you want it to link to. So if you like to have links to every possible piece of educational knowledge in the universe all on one page, fine, but that could probably get a little distracting, especially for somebody like me that will follow all of them. But you can also, the links, and so, this is what I was, kind of one of the cool points that I had just forgotten. The resolution operator and the links would coordinate in a way that the resolution operator uses that link, because the links are put there by us. We understand a relationship between subject, particular subject in whatever A. Okay. Man, I am losing it. All right. Say chemistry and oxygen. Okay. Oxygen is somewhere inside the chemistry text, the word oxygen. And oxygen is also in the discovery of oxygen in historical texts. And they're linked. Now, the algorithms that run this thing understand that this is a link that we put there, and that we understand means that it is, a link to pay attention to. And so it realizes that, wow, okay, this is a context-based link. This is talking about the same oxygen that's talking about. So now, when you use the resolution operator, it can use information from other links within that text to fill in that particular area of information. So I thought that was a pretty cool idea. Okay. I'm gonna have to wrap this up really quick because my wife is gonna get home and very soon, and I'm gonna have to edit this too. Oh my gosh, dude. What a crazy last week. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I didn't get this up when I said I was going to get it up earlier this morning, like I should have, but I ran into so many problems. Quick side note, I was planning on doing today's episode on the 3 functions of money and how they coordinate with the 4 laws of thermodynamics, and how they actually, we'll get to it, okay? But, it turned into, the calculation that okay, never mind. We'll talk about that tomorrow, or next week. I'll try to get started tomorrow, because it is a whopper of an episode, and my calculation broke down. I screwed up. I realized that I had a big problem in there, and I couldn't resolve the problem that I was working as an example to show you guys. And I just, oh my God, that is a big error. We're gonna have to fix that. So that's why I didn't do that today. On with the show. Oh yeah. I almost forgot. Okay, the sub project. Okay, so there's Giterature, which is kind of like the any literature, poems, lyrics, whatever you want, just songs, just whatever. Omnisciencia. Yeah, that's the one. That's what I decided to call the thingy, the Donkerlinker, the guy, the educational one, the textbook, the everything all in one textbook. I mean, isn't that the perfect name, Omnisciencia? I thought that was like beautiful. I know it's already being used out there, but I don't care. It so perfectly describes what the Omnisciencia is. Okay, what makes this thing awesome is that it links you directly into your class. Okay, so, and I always wished for this when I was in college. I always wanted, well, not just in college, using the computer at all. That's why I can't not have two monitors. I need one monitor for information that I'm taking in and another monitor to push it out onto. Like when I'm coding, I always have documents open. Excuse me. And that is what we're going to talk about next. Yeah, so it's a threefold tablet. I had also considered doing a two-sided tablet and a three-folded, a trifold tablet system. But and I think that's still a possibility. I mean, why not? Easy, right? You can just rearrange a couple of things, but you don't get the full breadth of functionality you would get with a trifold system. So you have access to your classroom on one of the tablets. You have your book. You have writing space for notes and stuff, right? And you can communicate to other people. So as your teacher's talking, and it would be telelectures, you have the screen, the video come up, and you can attend your classes that way, and either have a Bluetooth connected keyboard, or you could probably just say it to the tablet, and it would message that into the classroom messaging system. But now let's talk about, there was one last aspect for the Omnisciencia that I would like to cover. And this is the idea of having an AI teacher that can teach the information that's inside the text in a way that, how do I say this? Let me think about this for a second. How this would work is it would be like a video, but it wouldn't be a video. But this is kind of one of my super cool, that's such a good idea. I'm gonna write that down right now. So you have an AI that you train to be able to communicate the information in the text and the sound bites and how to utilize sound bites and other little videos, that sort of thing. I mean, you really have to teach it how to do this. Actually, you might not have to teach that part. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm going to. So it is what I thought would be really cool. And this is a task. To do this would be so hard. I would need some Google resources, some Amazon resources. But in alignment with the idea that everybody has a different learning style. So you find a selection of teachers that teach like that. They have that, naturally have that learning style. And you use that, videos from those, you record each one of them presenting several different lectures, Now you use that as a means to train your AI on different teaching styles. So there's a lot of technical aspects to this that I just do not know how I could possibly get. Because we're talking about several different types of neural networks. We'd have to get to work with each other in order to be able to do this. But I think it's possible. And so not only do you have the option to, listen to lectures from different people, but you also have the option to use the AI lectures, where it uses kind of the fakes. You know what I'm talking about. The videos that look real and they're not. So you use that sort of thing to create different teachers, different looking teachers, different acting teachers, but that look like real videos. And that's not the coolest part yet. The coolest part is not only can you select learning styles and it's basically the same lecture being presented to you, but so not only do you have an artificial teacher that looks like a real teacher that can teach anything that you ask it to teach you or present to you, but the resolution operator works with the teacher too. Like, oh my gosh, I get so stoked just thinking about this. How cool would that be? Yeah. What? Right? You can decide 5th grade. I want to, who would want to, at our age, watch a 5th grader's video, except for, I guess analysis reasons or whatever, but you can change the resolution operator. So you can dumb it down if you're having a hard time following it, or you can crank it up if you're really getting it and you want to know the crazy details. Or if you find yourself wanting to show a certain lecture and to your 5-year-old, and you don't have the capacity to really dumb it down for them, the AI take care of it. Just turn it all the way down, flip your screen around, and let him watch the perfectly constructed lecture for 5-year-olds. That is how cool this thing is in my mind. And hopefully we will get around to that one soon, because I have to get that done after I finish the simulation. Giterature is the next project I'm going to work on before I jump onto actually coding the actual AI STEM drive. All right, so that's Giterature. That's most of this most of this episode. But I do want to talk about Torrent University really quickly, because Torrent University is more of a paradigm than it is a software product. It is kind of the paradigm behind how the classrooms and structure of the social structure of how the classrooms work, classrooms and colleges and whatever. So think Ivy League educations, right? Think Oxford, Stanford, Yale. Now, think of them as sitting on a scale. All our schools are kind of on a scale, of quality. How much quality can you expect from any one school? So if Oxford and Stanford are right here, okay, and University of Utah, community colleges are a little further down. But Ivy League education is sitting right about here. What I am proposing, as far as how Torrent University would work, would bring a new level of education into the picture, like for real. Like, for real. So let me explain how this works, because this is a complete paradigm shift as far as how education should work. And get this, yes, this too also falls directly in line with all the science that we've ever learned about education. Why? Because science is great and we don't do that enough. So I sat down and decided with everything that I could find that this would be the perfect, not perfect, but 1,000 times better than anything we have right now, platform for education. Okay, so Torrent University is a distillation of all of the science and knowledge and understanding that we have. Not all of it. You are totally welcome to add to it if you know something or have an idea, because this is all about community, right? This is about us becoming a better us by becoming a better us, communicating, interacting. Hey, I think this will make your thing better. Oh, thank you. That sort of deal. So how Torrent University works. And I think you'll see the elements of what I'm talking about as I am explaining this, hopefully. What is the best way to learn something? Like, bar none, no questions, the absolute best way to really understand something. Well, isn't it to teach it? Here's the model. As you are going to school, your online class, okay? And I am in Math 101. Oh, come on, let's ratchet it up. 1310, okay? I know every school is a little different, but why not? We'll just bring it up to the 1300s. I'm in Math 1310, and I am learning that information really well. I'm a great student, asking questions, really getting to know my information. And now I pass the class. What I get to do now, as I move on to Math, say 1400, X, whatever, I also have a responsibility to turn around and teach 1310. So, as every student progresses through a Torrent University styled school, you are always both teaching and learning. Now, of course, there will be a head professor that makes sure that this is going smoothly. But a new student that is coming to Class A can always expect to be taught and directly tutored by a student that had just mastered Class A, that is turning around now to give back to the community. So as they're also teaching, they're learning. They're teaching what they learned last time and learning, what is in front of them. And then when they master that class, they turn around and teach that class as well, as they're also learning and continuing upward. Here is the kind of another badass aspect of this, is that you don't have time limits. Dude, if somebody wants to take 5 years on whatever biology or chemistry class, or if they just are not getting it, you do not have a time limit. Because what do we want out of education? I mean, what do we really want out of education? Do we want to feel like because you just couldn't understand whatever concept, now you're kind of donked? That's so dumb to me. I understand kind of the mindset that has come from, but we're in a totally different age. Why do we have time limits like that? Obviously, understanding, how to coordinate your time and how to structure and plan and really be careful with your day and your time as it's coming and going. I get it. But when we're talking about understanding information, you're learning something new, you're absorbing information and gaining an education, restricting people to an expected level of achievement within a certain amount of time, you are just shutting the door on so many people. While some people may just cruise through the class, others can take their time. There is nothing to stop you. And the reason why this is a possibility suddenly is because you're enforcing the idea that once you master something, you have to turn around and teach it. Because now you have at least a 1-to-1-ish ratio of the teacher and the student, which is beautiful. That is such a powerful concept. Not only is the information fresh in that person's head and they have a full grasp of this, they're just drilling it in. They're ingraining that information. That information is going to stick in their head so much better than it would have had they just kept moving up the ladder like we are doing today. So even though time management would still be taught and understood and expected, and people, there will still be don't laze your whole, I'll tell you away. And because of the nature of the STEM epiconomy, right, and how the AI STEM drive works, people are motivated intrinsically. Okay, so the class structure, just the social kind of setup for Torrent University is such that it's kind of the same thing that they sort of do with the tutor thing on Facebook, where you just reach out across the world and find somebody that's willing to encourage you to keep you, motivated. That's sort of a setup. I mean, it works. It works pretty good. Hey, how's class going? Good. Hey, thank you. The motivation to stick to a time frame is there, but the shame that comes with not making it in time is not. I submit that a properly structured Torrent University system with the Giterature or the Omniscientia text would produce a graduate student that would leave an Oxford, top of the class graduate in the dust. Because not only are your math students just learning the math, they're ingraining it in their minds. Not only are the doctors just learning it, they're turning around and teaching what they know. The amount of information that they're just just really, really reinforcing and ingraining in their minds, and at the degree that they're doing it, I can't remember. I think back in, I don't know, when I first registered at torrentuniversity.org, which is a long time ago. I think on the website, when I was trying to get people just weren't interested, man, back then. But I think people are going to be interested now. The amount of people that were interested back then was just frustrating. Nobody was, that's kind of a cool idea. And then they're just, never come back. But now that the technology is here and that that there's actually a platform for it to like strut or sit upon, the Epiconomy. Now that it kind of makes sense in that sort of way, I think people will be a lot more interested, because it is science. It is what the science says, like, why not use that to our advantage? So my bet, okay, I bet that Torrent University, a self-run public educational system with the utility of the omniscientia, would produce a quality of students so incredibly superior to anything any of the Ivy League schools are producing today, that it will set a new standard for education. I guarantee it. You're just not going to have the kind of minds coming out of your traditional school as the sort of minds that are going to be coming out of a Torrent University-based school. And all the new science, all the new ideas for helping people learn better, smarter, faster, that sort of thing, for becoming better people, as those things are being discovered or whatever, they're being implemented too. This isn't, let's just kind of stick with one idea and keep it that way forever. This is a fluid, dynamic, responsive system that is there for the people, right? It's there to grow with humanity. So I think that is about it for today. We totally did not get around to the oh my gosh, there is so much information I am trying to get out of my head into cameras and up onto the internet that dude, this is going to be like 5 or 6 months, I think. Honestly, I'm really trying to like make these interesting, but not make them too boring, but also pack all the information in there at the same time. So yeah, the whole other part about emergency response systems, I think we're going to have to, it's already 7:30. Yeah, we're just going to have to not do that. We're going to have to do that. No, not in the next one. The next one's going to be what I also had to stop doing yesterday. Gosh. Man, I need like 3 more of me. I apologize, guys. I really do. Maybe I should just do like 2 or 3 episodes a week. I don't have the time for that. Anyway, again, I apologize for not being able to crunch it all in. So we're going to wrap this episode up. Thank you, as always. You guys, the public, you are the... This isn't going anywhere without you guys. For real. I need you. I need your support. I mean, that's just how it is. I don't mind that it's that way. But it just... I don't know, it kind of feels funny saying that. I need you. So thank you for listening or watching or whatever. Like and share. Like and share the video. And subscribe and all that cool stuff. Just please help me get the word out. This is by Alfred North Whitehead. By relieving the brain of all unnecessary work, a good notation sets it free to concentrate on more advanced problems, and in effect increases the mental power of the race. By the aid of symbolism, we can make transitions almost mechanically by the eye, which otherwise would call into play the higher faculties of the brain. It is a profoundly erroneous truism that we should cultivate the habit of thinking what we are doing. The precise opposite is the case. Civilization advances by extending the number of important operations which we can perform without thinking about them. I thought that was like such a profound idea. I mean, it kind of goes in line with the people that like to make the point that, our cell phones are just an extension of our body. The idea that the notation and the symbols we use in mathematics allows us to have to not, it's kind of true. Like, if you think about, when you're crunching a problem or working something out, the notation is almost like a device that really encapsulates certain concepts and frees your mind up to not have to worry about that. Excuse me. It just is there because it is, because we've all agreed upon it being there. So you get it. Like, I don't know. I thought it was a really great quote. I even just underlined it. Yeah. Oh, dude, by the way, I'm not getting paid to do this. This book, Pre-Calculus Mathematics in a Nutshell by George F. Simmons. Okay, this is only 120 pages long. That's index and everything, okay, 120 pages. This is the best. Like, no shit. I'm not even kidding. I'm not, just because it's my current read. This is the best book I have ever read. As far as, explaining things in a way that you just get like that, as well as keeping it down to 120 pages. Do you know how much information is in this book? It has taken me I'm halfway through it, and it has taken me 3 months to read 40 pages. I mean, there's more to it than just reading. Obviously, sit down and work some of the problems and stuff too. But what I am trying to say is, if you need to brush up on some skills and you just don't want to have to go pick up a 400-page geometry book and a 600-page pre-calculus book, this has it all. Geometry, algebra, and trig. And it's in such, I can't even describe how he did it. It is the most beautifully constructed book as far as conceptually fitting so many ideas into such a small space in a way that the average reader gets it. I assume the average reader gets it. Sorry. I'm just saying, check it out. If you are trying to brush up on your math, I would not recommend any other book ever. This thing just encapsulates everything you could ever possibly want to brush up on in a way that is just, I just have no way of explaining it. All I have to say is, George F. Simmons, if you are out there, you have blown my mind. You have officially blown my mind as far as the content of this book. I can't believe you were able to fit all of that into 120 pages. I owe you. So, now that I just advertised for Mr. Simmons, not by his request, because his product actually is awesome. Because I have never read another math book that so precisely and perfectly and so explains concepts so well you could just almost read it like another book, like a normal book, without having to stop and really thinking about it. I mean, you do have to stop and thinking about it, but the way he wrote it is just, thank you, dude, for existing and for bringing that book into existence. Like, I really have no other book to compare it to. There is no other mathematical text that has even come close to accomplish what that book has accomplished. And with that, we're going to wrap this up. Go ahead and, I may have already said this before, subscribe if you haven't. Click like down wherever, on whatever platform you're listening to and watching this on. And yeah, as always, please share this with friends and family, people you know, people you think that might be interested. Because this is, I mean, if I'm right, this could like just turn our world upside down and inside out in the best possible way ever. So I'm just trying to get the public traction, because without that, this isn't going anywhere. And if I am right and this can go somewhere, I need this to go somewhere. So, and we all do, really. So please share and like and everything. And thank you, everybody who has been listening and who has been sharing and liking. And don't forget about the contest. Okay. Much love. Be safe out there. Seriously, don't be stupid. I have seen too many people do. What are you doing? We're in the middle of a pandemic. Don't do that. Please. Like, don't you want to live, until you're 40 instead of until you're 2 months from now? Catch you guys next time. Lecture 4. I keep calling them lectures. Episode 5 will be what this episode was supposed to be. And I think it is so packed full of content. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it all within 1 hour, but I will try. If I have to break it up into 2 episodes, I'm going to. Anyway, okay. Love you guys. Thanks. Bye.